I set my fork down with the kind of deliberate calm that makes people nervous. The noise at Aunt Elaine's dining table doesn't stop right away. Uncle Greg is still mid-sentence about something involving his golf handicap, and my cousin Brittany is scrolling through her phone, half listening to her husband complain about traffic. The Thanksgiving spread covers every inch of the oak table. Turkey, stuffing, 3 kinds of potatoes, green bean casserole that nobody really wants but everyone pretends to appreciate. Mom's laughter cuts through it all. That performative, too loud sound that makes my shoulders tense before my brain catches up. Madison is 30, and still renting a shoebox, she announces to the entire table, gesturing with her wine glass. Red sloshes dangerously close to the rim. Can you believe it? Meanwhile, Brittany just bought that gorgeous condo in the city. The room doesn't go quiet. Not yet, but I feel the shift. That microscopic change in air pressure when people realize something is about to happen. Brittany looks up from her phone, uncomfortable. Mom didn't help us with the down payment or anything. Of course not, Mom says, waving her hand dismissively. You and Trevor are responsible adults who plan for the future. Her eyes land on me, and there's that familiar glint, the one that says she's enjoying this. Some of us just can't seem to get our financial lives together. My hands rest flat on either side of my plate. The tablecloth is cream-colored, probably expensive. Aunt Elaine always goes all out for holidays. I count the floral pattern repeating itself. Once, twice, 3 times. You're absolutely right, Mom. The words come out even, almost pleasant. Mom's smile widens, mistaking my agreement for surrender. She's about to launch into another comparison, probably about my car or my job or the fact that I haven't been on a vacation in 3 years. I should be saving more money. Uncle Greg nods approvingly. Aunt Elaine refills her wine, satisfied that this uncomfortable moment is resolving itself the way it should. With me accepting my role as the family disappointment, that's why I canceled the standing mortgage transfer to your account this morning. The silence this time is absolute. Mom's wine glass freezes halfway to her mouth. Her expression does something I've never seen before, a sort of rapid cycling through confusion, disbelief, and landing hard on panic. The color drains from her face in stages, like watching a Polaroid develop in reverse. You what? The $1,800 transfer? I continue, keeping my voice steady. The one that's been going out on the 1st of every month for the last 2 years? I canceled it. Good luck with the mortgage, Mom. Aunt Elaine's fork clatters against her plate. Uncle Greg clears his throat, suddenly fascinated by the pattern on his napkin. Brittany's eyes go wide, her phone forgotten in her lap. Madison. Mom's voice has an edge now, sharp enough to draw blood. This isn't funny. I'm not laughing. Earlier that day, I sat in my car in Elaine's driveway, staring at my phone. The banking app was open, showing the scheduled transfers screen. $1,800 on the 1st. Every single month. Never late, never missed. I scrolled through the history, watching my checking account balance drain and refill in a rhythm I'd memorized. Paycheck in, mortgage payment out, bills, groceries. Whatever was left went into savings that never seemed to grow. My finger hovered over the cancel recurring transfer button. I'd pulled up this screen before, dozens of times, but I'd always closed the app, convinced myself that next month would be different. That eventually, Mom would acknowledge what I was doing. That she'd at least stop humiliating me at family gatherings. The button turned red when I held it down. Are you sure you want to cancel this recurring transfer? I pressed confirm. Now, sitting at this table surrounded by the people who are supposed to be my family, I watch the power dynamics shatter like dropped crystal. You can't be serious. Mom's voice rises. Madison Ann Wright, you sit down and tell me you're joking right now. I'm already standing, reaching for my coat from the back of my chair. My hands don't shake. Not yet. That will come later. I'm completely serious. After everything I've done for you? Mom pushes back from the table, nearly knocking over her chair. I raised you. I sacrificed for you. And this is how you repay me? The room holds its breath. This is the part where I'm supposed to apologize, where I back down and promise to reinstate the transfer, and beg forgiveness for embarrassing her in front of the family. Everyone knows the script. I pull my coat on, button by button. The movements feel mechanical, like I'm watching someone else's hands. Enjoy your dinner. Madison. Mom's voice follows me toward the front door. You get back here right now. You can't just walk out. Madison. Aunt Elaine starts to rise, probably to block my path or deliver some speech about family duty. But something in my face stops her. Maybe it's the way I'm not crying, or the way my jaw is set. Or maybe it's just that after 30 years of being the peacekeeper, the people pleaser, the invisible daughter who pays her mother's mortgage while living in a studio apartment she can barely afford. I'm finally done performing. The November air hits my face as I step outside. Cold, sharp, real. My car is parked at the curb under a streetlight. I slide into the driver's seat and close the door, muffling the sounds of the chaos I just left behind. The engine starts with a familiar rumble. My hands find the steering wheel, and that's when they start to shake. Not from regret, from the adrenaline of finally standing up. I stare at the dark windshield, watching my breath fog the glass. Inside that house, Mom is probably crying now. Aunt Elaine is consoling her. The family is probably already deciding I'm the villain in this story. But I'm not going back in. Not tonight. Not ever. The next day, the spreadsheet glows on my laptop screen, each row a small betrayal documented in Arial 11-point font. I've been sitting at my kitchen table for 3 hours now, cross-referencing bank statements with calendar dates, building a timeline of exactly how much I've bled. The apartment is quiet, except for the hum of my refrigerator and the occasional click of my mouse. My coffee went cold an hour ago, but I keep lifting the mug to my lips anyway, forgetting. $1,800. Every single month. For 24 months. $43,200. But that's not the whole story. I scroll down to the highlighted cells in yellow. The emergency payments. Mom's car needed new brakes. Her water heater died. She had an unexpected dental bill. Each crisis arrived with the same frantic phone call, the same tremor in her voice that made my stomach drop. September last year, $4,000 for the roof repair that couldn't wait. March, $2,500 for the furnace. June, $5,000 because the property taxes came due, and she'd completely forgotten. December, right before Christmas, $13,000. She said the townhouse was going into foreclosure. She cried on the phone. I emptied my savings account and canceled my own holiday plans. The total at the bottom of the spreadsheet makes my chest tight. $68,000. I saved the file with a name that feels like evidence. Madison, Wright, Financial, Documentation, 2023-2025, XLSX. Then I save it again to my cloud drive. Then I email it to myself. I'm not losing this. My phone buzzes against the table. Dad's name on the screen. Hey, I answered. Your aunt called me. His voice is careful. Said you made a scene at Thanksgiving. I stated a fact. Good for you. He exhales, and I can picture him in his kitchen, leaning against the counter the way he does when he's gathering his thoughts. Your mother called me too. Wants me to talk some sense into you. And? I told her I agreed with you. Something loosens in my chest. She's been telling everyone you left her broke. Of course she has. Dad sounds tired. Madison, you know the divorce settlement was 50-50. Right down the middle. The judge made sure of it. Your mother got $230,000. The townhouse was paid off. She had no debt. Where did it go? Where does it ever go? He pauses. That spa membership costs $800 a month. I saw the credit card statements before we split. She was spending $4,000 a month at Nordstrom, getting her hair done every 2 weeks at that place in Belmont, the kitchen renovation that she absolutely had to have, the bathroom remodel. New furniture. She spent the money, Madison. That's what she does. I already knew this. But hearing Dad confirm it makes the spreadsheet on my screen feel less like paranoia and more like proof. Thanks for telling me, I say. I should have told you 2 years ago. His voice drops. But honestly, I thought you were just helping her with groceries or small bills. I had no idea you were paying the entire mortgage until Elaine opened her mouth. He sighs. I'm sorry I didn't ask sooner. Everyone. We hang up, and I'm staring at the spreadsheet again when someone knocks on my door. Sharp, insistent raps that make me flinch. I know who it is before I open it. Aunt Elaine stands in my hallway, still wearing her coat, her face arranged in that expression of righteous concern that makes her look like a church lady about to deliver a sermon. She doesn't wait for an invitation. She pushes past me into my apartment, her eyes scanning the small space with the kind of judgment that catalogs every second-hand piece of furniture, every scuff mark on the wall. "We need to talk," she announces. "Hello to you too. Don't be flip with me, Madison." She turns to face me, and there's no warmth in her expression. No curiosity about my side of things. "Do you have any idea what you've done?" "I stopped paying my mother's mortgage." "You humiliated her. In front of the entire family." Elaine's voice rises. "She's your mother. She raised you. And you threw that in her face like it meant nothing." I close the door. My hand stays on the knob. "Did she tell you how much I've been paying?" "That's not the point. $1,800 a month. For 2 years. Plus another $24,000 in emergency payments." The numbers roll off my tongue. I've been staring at them long enough that they're memorized. $68,000 total. Elaine waves her hand like, I'm talking about pocket change. Family helps family. Does family humiliate family at Thanksgiving dinner? She was just joking. She called me a financial failure. She compared me to Brittany. She does this every time we're together, and I'm supposed to smile and keep writing checks? Your mother is bad with money. Elaine says it like she's admitting something, like this confession should make me sympathetic. Everyone knows that. But she raised you by herself after your father left. You owe her. Dad didn't leave her broke. The divorce was 50-50. Elaine's mouth tightens. She knows. Of course she knows. That doesn't change your responsibility. If you stop paying, she loses the house. Is that what you want? Your mother homeless? I want her to be an adult. She's 55 years old, Madison. She can't just start over. I'm 30. Why can't I? The question hangs in the air. Elaine stares at me, and I see the calculation happening behind her eyes. She's realizing that shame won't work anymore. That I'm not the same person who showed up to Thanksgiving dinner yesterday. If she loses that house, everyone will know it's your fault. She says finally. Your cousins, your aunts and uncles, everyone at church. They'll know you abandoned your own mother. They can think whatever they want. This will follow you. Her voice drops, taking on an almost threatening edge. People talk. Your coworkers will hear about it. Your boss. Everyone will know what kind of daughter you are. I walk to my laptop and turn it to face her. The spreadsheet fills the screen. $68,000 in a cell at the bottom, highlighted in red. Feel free to share that number when you're telling everyone what kind of daughter I am. Elaine looks at the screen. Her jaw works, but she doesn't say anything. I'm done, I tell her. You can leave now. She goes without another word, and I lock the door behind her. Then I sit back down at my kitchen table and open my email. The message takes me 10 minutes to write. I keep it formal, professional. The kind of email I'd send at work when documenting a problem. 2. Carolyn Wright. Elaine Peterson. CC. Richard Wright. Subject. Financial support notice. Effective immediately. I will no longer provide financial support for mortgage payments or other expenses. I have attached documentation showing $68,000 in payments made between November 2023 and November 2025. This decision is final. Madison Wright. I attach the spreadsheet. My finger hovers over the send button for only a moment. The email whooshes away. My phone stays silent for the rest of the evening. No calls, no texts. When I check the family group chat before bed, there are no new messages. Just silence where there used to be constant noise. I look at my bank account one more time. The balance is higher than it's been in 2 years. Next month, it will be higher still. The price of that number is the silence on my phone, the ostracization that's already starting. But for the first time in 24 months, I can breathe. On Monday, the notification pops up on my phone during lunch break. A coworker tagged me in a comment thread. I don't even need to open it to know what's happening. My stomach drops before my brain catches up, that familiar sick weight settling somewhere behind my ribs. The post is public. Of course it is. Mom has never believed in handling family business privately, not when there's an audience to manipulate. Her profile picture shows her at some charity gala from 3 years ago, wearing a dress I now realize I probably paid for. The text is long, rambling. The kind of emotional vomit that people scroll past unless they know the players involved. Some people don't understand what it means to honor your parents. It begins. After everything you sacrifice, After all the sleepless nights and hard choices, after giving up your own dreams to raise them right, they just walk away. Abandon you when you need them most. I'm getting older. I won't be here forever. But I guess that doesn't matter to some people. She doesn't name me. She's too smart for that. But she's tagged Anna Lane, Uncle Greg, 3 cousins, and half a dozen family friends, people who were at Thanksgiving, people who know exactly who she's talking about. The comments are already rolling in. Sympathetic emojis, praying for you and stay strong, and some children just don't appreciate what they have. Mrs. Henderson from 2 doors down wrote, "You deserve so much better." I lock my phone and set it face down on my desk. The spreadsheet I was working on blurs in front of me. "Hey, Madison?" I look up. Jessica from accounting is standing in my cubicle entrance, her expression carefully neutral. The kind of neutral that means she's seen something and doesn't know how to bring it up. "I just wanted to check if everything's okay. I saw your mom's post and..." Heat floods my face. Not embarrassment exactly. Something sharper. The realization that my personal crisis has officially leaked into my professional life. I'm fine. The words taste like cardboard. Family stuff. You know how it is. Jessica nods, but her eyes hold that look. Pity mixed with curiosity mixed with judgment. She's wondering what I did to deserve a public shaming from my own mother. Whether there's truth to the ungrateful daughter narrative my mother is spinning. "If you need anything," Jessica says, backing away slowly. After she leaves, I pull up the post again, read through the comments, watch the likes climb. 43 people have validated mom's victimhood in the span of 20 minutes. My fingers move on autopilot, typing out a response. A clear, factual explanation of the last 2 years, the mortgage payments, the manufactured emergencies. The casino receipts I haven't even shared yet. Every detail laid out in numbered points, irrefutable and damning. I write 3 paragraphs. 4. The truth presented in clean, professional language that can't be misinterpreted or twisted. My thumb hovers over the post button. 1 tap and everyone will know my side. 1 tap and the narrative shifts. 1 tap and I stop being the villain. The office air conditioning kicks on, humming through the vent above my desk. I stare at my drafted response, reading it over twice. Then I highlight all of it and hit delete, because that's exactly what she wants. Mom doesn't care about the truth. She cares about the performance. About forcing me to defend myself publicly, to engage in a battle where she controls the terrain. Every comment I make, every fact I share, it all feeds into the drama she's creating. It makes me look defensive, reactive, like someone who has something to hide. I block the post from my feed instead. Don't unfriend her. Don't comment. Just remove it from my view like it never existed. My hands are steadier than I expect. The phone rings 20 minutes later. Dad's name flashes across the screen. "I saw it," he says before I can speak. No greeting, just straight to the point. "Don't respond. I wasn't planning to." "Good." He exhales, and I can picture him in his workshop, surrounded by half-finished furniture projects and sawdust. "She's baiting you. This is what she does. Creates a crisis, makes herself the victim, and waits for you to react, so she can point to your reaction as proof of how terrible you are. I know." "Do you?" His voice softens. "Because I spent years falling for it, apologizing for things I didn't do, trying to fix problems I didn't create. It took me too long to realize you can't win against someone who rewrites history every time she opens her mouth." I close my eyes, pressing the phone harder against my ear. People believe her. Some people will believe anything that confirms what they already think. The ones who matter will see through it eventually. After we hang up, I sit in the silence of my cubicle. The fluorescent lights buzz overhead. Someone's microwave popcorn makes the break room smell like fake butter. That evening, my coworker Amber texts me. Not Jessica with her careful neutrality, but Amber from my training cohort 3 years ago. We get drinks sometimes. Share war stories about difficult clients and office politics. "Saw your mom's post through a mutual friend. Wanna grab coffee?" We meet at the place 2 blocks from my apartment. Small, overpriced, with mismatched furniture and aggressively hip baristas. Amber orders something with oat milk. I get black coffee because I'm too tired to make decisions. My mom did the same thing to my sister. Amber says without preamble. Different details, same playbook. Public shaming, playing victim, making it everyone else's problem. I wrap both hands around my mug, absorbing the heat through the ceramic. My sister was supporting her for 4 years, Amber continues. Rent, bills, groceries. Mom spent it on QVC jewelry and timeshares she never used. When my sister finally cut her off, Mom told everyone she was being abandoned, made herself out to be this tragic figure. What happened? My sister moved across the country, changed her number, started over. Amber shrugs. Sounds dramatic, but sometimes that's what it takes. You can't fix people who don't want to be fixed. You can only protect yourself. The coffee tastes burnt, but I drink it anyway. Back home that night, I sit cross-legged on my couch with my laptop open. The Facebook post is still up, still gathering sympathetic comments like barnacles on a shipwreck. I navigate to my privacy settings and start clicking through options. Limited profile visibility, restricted lists, unfollowing without unfriending, the digital equivalent of closing a door without slamming it. I unfollow Aunt Elaine, Uncle Greg, the cousins who liked Mom's post, the family friends who added their prayers and sad face emojis. One by one, I remove their content from my feed. They can still see my public posts, and can still think whatever they want, but I don't have to watch them perform their loyalty to Mom anymore. The quiet that follows feels intentional instead of empty. The phone vibrates in my hand at 7:30 a Wednesday morning. 3 weeks of silence were broken with this call. Aunt Elaine's name glows on the screen, and my stomach drops before I even answer. It's an emergency. Her voice is breathless, theatrical. The utilities are being cut off and the sheriff is at the door. Madison, you have to do something. Behind her, Mom wails. The sound is high-pitched, desperate, exactly calibrated to trigger every guilt receptor I've spent 30 years developing. What happened to the money from... There's no time for questions. Elaine snaps. Your mother has 0 cash. 0. They're going to shut everything off today. She'll have to move into some horrible motel, or worse, she'll have no choice but to show up at your office. The threat lands exactly as intended. I picture Mom making a scene in the lobby at work, crying to my boss about her cruel daughter. The professional reputation I've carefully built, shattered in one performative meltdown. You have 2 hours to fix this, Madison. 2 hours. The call ends before I can respond. I sit on the edge of my bed, still in my pajamas, phone cooling in my palm. The apartment is quiet, except for the hum of the refrigerator and distant traffic. My bank app is already open from checking my balance earlier. That little green number that's finally starting to grow. The old Madison would already be getting dressed, already calculating how much she could transfer without overdrafting, already composing the apology she'd offer for letting things get this bad. But I've seen the pattern now. The manufactured crisis, the impossible deadline, the threat of public humiliation as leverage. I scroll through my text history with Mom instead. 3 weeks of silence since the email, not a single response to the spreadsheet, no acknowledgement of the $68,000, just radio silence until this exact moment when she needs something. My finger hovers over the banking app, then I close it. I text back, I'll meet you at the townhouse. 1 hour. The reply comes in seconds. Thank God, I knew you'd come through. I shower, dress in my usual work clothes, gray slacks, white blouse, minimal makeup. The mirror shows someone who looks tired, defeated, beaten down. Perfect. The drive to Mom's townhouse takes 35 minutes, but I make them wait longer. My hands are steady on the wheel. No shaking this time, just cold, clear focus. Mom's car is in the driveway. So is Elaine's Mercedes. I park on the street and walk up the path slowly, counting my steps. 17 from curb to front door. The flower beds Mom planted last spring are overgrown, weeds choking out the petunias she spent $200 on. The door opens before I knock. Finally. Elaine ushers me inside like I'm late for surgery. She's in the living room. She's been beside herself. Mom sits on the couch, tissue box in her lap, mascara smudged, but her eyes are sharp. Alert, watching me for signs of weakness. Elaine hovers behind her, arms crossed, playing the concerned sister. They're barely concealing their smugness. They think this is victory. The prodigal daughter returning with her checkbook open. I don't sit down. Show me the shut-off notice. Mom blinks. What? The sheriff. The utility company. Show me the paperwork. There's no time for... Elaine starts. Show me. Mom's hands flutter toward the coffee table where a single envelope sits. Duke Energy. Addressed to her. I open it. Final notice, dated 3 days ago. Past due amount, $412. Not $1,800. Not the mortgage. Utilities. I'll handle this one last time. The words come out flat, exhausted. Mom's shoulders drop, relief flooding her features. Elaine's expression shifts to satisfaction. They exchange a glance that confirms everything I suspected. This was always about breaking me, about proving they could still pull my strings. I pull out my phone. I need to transfer the payment directly. Just write a check, Mom says quickly. Or Venmo me, whatever's fastest. No. I keep my voice steady, defeated. I need the account information. The login for the utility company. I need the records for my own taxes anyway. The lie slides out smoothly. Reasonable. The kind of thing a responsible person would say. Mom hesitates. This wasn't the plan. She wanted cash, liquid and untraceable. But she needs this money too desperately to refuse. I watch her calculate, watch her decide that getting paid now is worth the minor inconvenience of sharing login credentials. Fine. She rattles off the website, username, password. I type them into my phone, fingers steady. The Duke Energy portal loads. I navigate to payment options, enter my debit card information, and confirm the $412 charge. My bank app shows the transaction processing immediately. There, paid. Thank you, sweetheart. Mom's voice drips with false warmth. I knew you'd understand. Family helps family. But I'm not done. I'm scrolling now. Phone tilted away from their view. Transaction history. Download statements. Screenshot. 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 The phone's camera sound is muted, but my heart hammers so hard I'm sure they can hear it. 6 months of utility bills. Paid on time, every month, no late fees until this one. I keep scrolling, downloading, documenting. Mom is already talking to Elaine about something else, her crisis resolved. They think this is over. They think the ATM is open again. I should go. I pocket my phone. I have work. Of course. Mom doesn't stand to walk me out. Thank you, Madison. I know things have been tense, but this really means a lot. I don't respond. Just head for the door, hand steady on the knob. Outside, I don't drive away immediately. I park down the street where my car isn't visible from the townhouse windows. My phone is hot in my hand, screen glowing with the utility account still open. The login credentials work for more than just Duke Energy. I navigate to her bank account, the one she gave me access to under the guise of paying bills. My thumb hovers over the transaction history. Then I tap it. The numbers that load make my breath catch. 2 days ago. ATM withdrawal. The Emerald Casino. $2,000 in cash. The day before the emergency. The day before she claimed to have zero money. The day she and Aunt called me. I scroll further back. More casino withdrawals. Luxury purchases at department stores. Spa memberships. Monthly charges that paint a picture of someone who never intended to pay her own bills. Someone who spent the mortgage money knowing exactly who would cover the shortfall. I screenshot everything. Every transaction. Every date. Every location. The evidence downloads to my phone in a neat, devastating timeline. Inside that townhouse, Mom and Elaine are probably celebrating. Probably already discussing what the next emergency will be. Home repairs, maybe, or car trouble. Whatever story sounds urgent enough to open my wallet again. But I'm not crying. I'm smiling. My fingers fly across the screen, creating a new folder. Evidence. I drop every screenshot inside, then back it up to cloud storage. 3 copies, each one a bullet I didn't know I'd need until this exact moment. The trap isn't just armed anymore. It's loaded, aimed, and ready. Let's see what else you've been hiding, Mom. I start the engine and pull away from the curb, leaving the townhouse and its occupants behind. My phone sits in the cup holder, screen dark now, containing the truth they never meant for me to find. The ATM isn't open. It's about to permanently close. The text comes through 4 days after I paid the utility bill. Mom, Madison, I need to talk to you about something urgent. My car is making a terrible noise, and the mechanic says it needs $1,200 in repairs immediately. I can't get to work without it. I stare at the message while my coffee goes cold. The same urgency, the same breathless crisis, the manufactured panic that used to send my heart racing and my fingers flying to the bank app. Not anymore. I scroll through the screenshots I took while logged into her account. Transaction after transaction, each one telling a story she never wanted me to read. The grocery store charges are reasonable enough. The utility payments are there, smaller than she claimed. But then there are the other ones. The luxury spa, the designer outlet mall, the wine bar downtown that charges $18 for a glass of Pinot. And the big one. The devastating one. The Emerald Casino. My thumb hovers over the reply button. I could ignore this, block her number, move on with my life and let her figure out her own messes. But she won't stop. People like Mom never stop until someone makes them. Me. Let's talk about it. Can you meet tomorrow afternoon? I think Aunt Elaine should be there too. The response comes back in seconds. Mom. Why does Elaine need to be involved? This is between us. Me. Because she's been involved in every other conversation about my financial responsibility to you. 2:00 at the Riverside Cafe. I'll see you both there. I don't wait for her to argue. I turn off my phone and finish getting ready for work. The next day, the cafe sits on the corner of Main and 3rd, the kind of place with round tables and too much natural light. I arrive 10 minutes early with my laptop bag and a folder containing printed copies of everything, the evidence organized by date, highlighted in yellow where it matters most. Mom and Aunt Elaine walk in together at 2:15. Late, but not late enough to be called out for it. Mom's face has that pinched look she gets when she's nervous but trying to hide it. Elaine's expression is already set to disapproval, like she walked in here ready to lecture me about family duty before I've said a single word. They sit across from me. Mom reaches for my hand, but I pull back and rest both palms flat on the table. Thank you for coming. Of course, sweetheart. Mom's voice drips with artificial sweetness. Now, about the car. I really am in a bind, and I know you said you wouldn't help anymore, but this is different. I can't work without transportation. We can talk about that. I open my laptop. The screen glows between us. But first, I want to show you something. Elaine shifts in her seat. Madison, if this is about dredging up the past, it's about last call. I turn the laptop toward them. The transaction history fills the screen. When you called and said the utilities were being shut off. When the sheriff was supposedly at the door. Mom's face goes very still. I paid that bill directly, remember? You gave me the login information. I clicked to the next screenshot, which meant I could see everything else too. The silence stretches. A waitress approaches, takes one look at our table, and veers toward a safer group of customers. Madison. Mom's voice has an edge now. Looking through my private accounts is a violation of... The day before your crisis. I tap the screen. November 14th. The Emerald Casino. $2,000. Cash withdrawal. Elaine leans forward, squinting at the screen. Her mouth opens, closes, opens again. You withdrew $2,000 at a casino. I continue, my voice steady. And then the next day, you called in hysterics about not having money for utilities. You manufactured that emergency. You gambled away your mortgage payment, and then called me to cover it. That's not... Mom starts, but I hold up one hand. I have $68,000 reasons to be done with your lies. I pull out the printed copies, sliding them across the table. This is 2 years of payments, $1,800 a month, plus the emergency payments, plus the utility bill I just paid, which subsidized a casino trip. Mom stares at the papers like they might catch fire. Her hands tremble as she reaches for them, but she doesn't pick them up. Can't. Maybe. Elaine reads in silence. I watch the exact moment she realizes she can't defend this, can't spin it into another lecture about family duty. Her face shifts from disapproval to something closer to shock. Carolyn. Elaine's voice is quiet. Dangerous. Tell me this isn't real. It was a mistake. Mom's words tumble out fast. I was stressed. I thought I could win it back. I never meant for... You lied to me. Elaine cuts her off. You stood in my kitchen and told me Madison abandoned you. You made me call her and guilt her into helping. And you were lying. I needed help. Mom's voice rises, desperate now. I made one mistake. One bad decision. That doesn't erase everything Madison owes me. I close my laptop with a soft click. I don't owe you anything. The words land heavy. Final. The money I gave you didn't save you, Mom. It enabled you. Every dollar I transferred went toward maintaining a lifestyle you couldn't afford. The designer clothes, the spa memberships, the casino trips. You didn't need rescuing. You needed someone to stop rescuing you. Mom opens her mouth, but nothing comes out. Her eyes are shining, and I wait for the tears, the performance. But even she seems to realize it won't work this time. I pull out my phone and open the family group chat. 37 members. Cousins, aunts, uncles, second cousins I barely remember. I haven't posted anything yet, I say, showing them the empty message box. But I will if this continues. The casino receipt, the transaction history, the whole truth about where my money actually went. You wouldn't. Mom's voice cracks. Try me. I meet her eyes. The caption writes itself. I didn't abandon her. She spent the mortgage money at the casino. Elaine sinks back in her chair, all the fight draining out of her. Without the moral high ground, she's just another witness to a truth too ugly to defend. I'm done being the solution to problems you create. I stand, gathering my laptop and folder. I've changed the passwords on my accounts. All of them. Don't call about emergencies. Don't text about crises. Don't show up at my apartment or my work. After everything I did for you? Mom's voice breaks on the last word. I pause at the edge of the table. You raised me. Past tense. That job is over. And you got paid for it. $68,000 worth. I walk out while they're still sitting there, stunned into silence. The afternoon sun hits my face as I step onto the sidewalk. My hands aren't shaking. My chest isn't tight. For the first time in 2 years, I feel lighter than air. 5 months changes everything and nothing at all. My new apartment has actual closet space, 2 bedrooms, even though I live alone. The second one holds a desk, bookshelves, and a reading chair I found at an estate sale. Fresh tulips sit in a glass vase on the kitchen counter, bright yellow against the white subway tile. I bought them yesterday because I wanted to, not because they were on clearance. My savings account has an actual balance now. Real numbers that grow instead of drain. The Easter gathering is at Aunt Elaine's again. Different holiday, same house, but I'm parking at the curb by choice this time. Not obligation. Not guilt. Just the simple decision to show up because I want to see Dad and a few cousins who reached out after the dust settled. I grab the lemon cake from the passenger seat. Store-bought, because I'm not trying to prove anything anymore. Inside, the familiar sounds of family chaos greet me. Kids running through the hallway. Uncle Greg's booming voice from the living room. The scent of ham and scalloped potatoes drifting from the kitchen. Mom is here. I spotted her car in the driveway. She's sitting in the corner of the dining room when I walk in, quieter than I've ever seen her. Her wine glass is half full instead of constantly empty. She glances up when I enter, and something flickers across her face. Not quite shame, not quite resentment, something in between that I don't need to name or fix. I nod once. She nods back. That's all there is. Madison. Brittany waves from across the room. She actually smiles, genuine instead of uncomfortable. That cake looks amazing. The conversation flows around me differently now. Aunt Elaine asks about work with real interest instead of veiled judgment. Uncle Greg talks about his new boat, without comparing it to what I can't afford. Nobody mentions my apartment size or my car or my apparent inability to plan for the future. They adjusted. The family learned where the line is, and nobody's testing it anymore. Halfway through dinner, Cousin Mark makes an offhand comment about helping his brother with rent. Family helps family, right? That's what we do. The table doesn't go silent, but I feel the slight shift, that microscopic awareness of weight behind those words. I set down my fork, take a sip of water, and smile. No tension in my shoulders. No calculating how to escape. Everyone's responsible for their own finances. Mark blinks, nods slowly. Yeah, I guess that's true too. The conversation moves on. Someone asks about dessert. Brittany's husband tells a story about their dog. The moment dissolves like sugar in coffee, sweet and unremarkable. Later, Dad catches me by the coffee station. He squeezes my shoulder once, firm and proud. He doesn't say anything. Doesn't need to. On Tuesday, a younger woman from accounting stops by my desk. Sarah, maybe 24, with circles under her eyes that look familiar. Can I ask you something? She glances around like she's afraid of being overheard. It's about family stuff. We end up having coffee in the break room. She tells me about her parents, their constant requests, the guilt trips, the threats. Her voice shakes when she talks about cutting them off. Everyone says I'm being selfish. I think about the spreadsheets, the casino withdrawal, the 2 years of silence I mistook for love. You can love people from a healthy distance, I tell her. You're not responsible for fixing problems they create. She's crying now, but the relief on her face is unmistakable, like someone finally gave her permission to breathe. I give her my number, tell her to call if she needs to talk. She hugs me before leaving, whispering thank you against my shoulder. That evening, I meet Dad and Jessica, my coworker who validated my boundaries 6 months ago, at the Italian place downtown. We order too much food and split a bottle of wine that costs more than I used to spend on groceries for a week. To chosen family, Jessica says, raising her glass. Dad grins. To Madison finally choosing herself. We clink glasses, and the sound rings clear. Driving home, the sunset spreads across the horizon in shades of orange and deep pink. My hands rest easy on the wheel, no phantom buzzing from my phone. No checking the rearview mirror like Mom's going to appear. My laptop sits open on the passenger seat, browser tabs still visible. One shows a photography course starting in June. Another has flight prices to Colorado. The voice in my head sounds different now, steady instead of anxious, clear instead of conflicted. Family helps family, I say out loud to the empty car. But help doesn't mean sacrifice. The light ahead turns green. After all I did for you? I smile at my reflection in the windshield. I finally did something for myself. My hands stay steady on the wheel. The road ahead is mine. The invisible provider now provides for the only person who never exploited her, herself.